Hey guys, welcome to the part 3 of live data using FastAPI. In this video, we are going to create endpoint for handling all the WebSocket connections. Then we are going to copy paste our HTML code from the Django project and do the necessary changes. And thirdly, we are going to create a connection manager class that will help us in handling all the connections. So let's get started. For that, we'll go first of all in the browser. And I'm going to put this link in the description. Y'all can directly go over there. Otherwise, if y'all want to go from Google, y'all have to type FastAPI live data, and in this usually the second one is the official link which I have pasted over here. We need to install this WebSocket. Okay, so I'll copy it from here, go to the VS Code. Please make sure to activate your environment. For me, VS Code has already done it. And also I have already installed this WebSocket for testing purpose, but for y'all it will be installed now. So let me clear the screen and we'll start by creating the WebSocket endpoint. For that, we'll go to this FastAPI page again, and we are going to scroll down, and we need to import these two things, that is from FastAPI import WebSocket, and from FastAPI.response is import HTML response. So I'm going to paste it over here. From FastAPI import WebSockets, and from FastAPI.responses import HTML responses. Then we are going to go down and we will copy this, paste it over here, save, and let me explain what it is. So we are going to create an endpoint of the type WebSocket @/ws. That means whenever user goes in the browser and types in /ws, he will be using this WebSocket endpoint. Then we have function, async function with WebSocket endpoint as name. You can name anything. It will have one parameter that is called as WebSocket, and it is of the type WebSocket. And we are going to await and accept the connection. Then we have while true. This is because whenever WebSocket connection is accepted, we must wait for any text input from the user. Otherwise, if we remove this, the while true, the connection will be disconnected, means the client will be disconnected. So that's why we have this while as true, and we are going to move this on top. That is, first we as soon as the user connects, the client connects to our WebSocket, we are going to send him a text. And that text is message text was hi. Okay, and then we are going to wait for him to send any message. Not really we are going to wait for him to send any message in the actual code, but this is the way how we keep the user in the loop. That is how we prevent user from getting disconnected. Okay, let's save this. Let me remove this. I think that is why it is giving me error, possibly. Oh no, it is because of F. This code will act as the bare bone for our entire thing now. And now let's copy the HTML code that we need. So we'll go to the browser. I will give this link in the description. This is the HTML template from Django project. I'm going to copy and paste it directly. So copy from here and create a variable called as HTML. This will take in 3 double quotes, and I'm going to paste it. So over here we'll log this E on ws.message. So console.log E, I will put it inside this, and we won't have any on open function. Okay, so we are going to remove this. We also have to remove the front slash at the end of the URL, and rest of the things will remain same because I want it to look alike. And of course we need to create an endpoint that will load this HTML template. So I will copy paste the old test one, and we are going to paste it over here on the slash, that is on index. We will return the HTML response. So HTML response, and that will take HTML that we have created over here. I'm going to just minimize this and keep, because it looks not so good. And we are going to run this. So it will be uv con and main and app dash reload. We'll go to the link and check it out. Okay, this looks good. Let me inspect. Okay, so everything is fine and it is working properly, just that we have extra code from our Django project. That's why it is giving us error. So let me actually let's comment this and keep, because we will need it in future. Let's refresh, and now everything works fine. Inside E, in the data variable, we have the data, and if we go to the network over here, we will have to select all, or if we want specifically for WebSocket, we are going to select the WS, and here we have a message came, that is message text was high. Now also let's check the terminal. So over here, WebSocket connection, this was accepted and connection is open, connection has not yet closed. So this is fine. Now let's create a connection manager that will help us in handling all the connections and sending messages. So I'm going to create a class. The class will be connection manager. This will have a init that is like initializer, INIT, and it will take self. As this connection manager is initialized, we will have a list that will be of type WebSocket and it will be blank. So it will be self dot, I'll call it as active connections. So connections of the type list, and this will be taking a WebSocket and it will be blank. Of course we need to import this list, so let me quickly import it. It will come from typing. So from typing import list. Now the list is initialized. We will create a method, so it will be called as def connect, and this will be a sync method. So def connect, and this will take in self comma WebSocket. This will be of type WebSocket. We will have await over here, await WebSocket dot accept. This will be same over here, as you can see. Let me minimize everything. So this will be the same functionality over here, connection dot accept, and then we are going to put it inside the active connections list. So self dot active connection dot append WebSocket, because we will be using this variable to send messages to all the users who are connected to us. Before that, let's create a disconnect function. So def disconnect. This will be also taking self comma WebSocket. So I'm going to paste it over here, self comma WebSocket, and we are going to self dot active connection dot remove WebSocket. So we are going to remove it from the list. After this, we are going to create a function method called as broadcast. So it will be a sync def broadcast. As the name suggests, it will be broadcasting messages to all the users. So this will be taking self and message will be of type string, and we are going to iterate over all the connections. So that will be for connection in self dot active connection. Actually, let's name this as connections instead of connection, because it will be consisting of multiple, not just single. And we are going to send the message, so it will be await connection dot send. If you notice over here, we are sending WebSocket dot text, but here we are going to send connections dot send JSON. This is because we will be having list of dictionaries to send to the user, that is multiple post or even single post to the user. That's why we have this, and the message will be and the JSON will be the message. So this is done. And now final thing in this connection manager that we need to do is a sync def and send personal. Let me fix the spelling, send personal, and then same thing over here. But over here we will have one more thing, that is WebSocket. This is because we are sending a message personally, so it will be sent to just one WebSocket, and let's do that. So I will call it as WebSocket dot send JSON. This will be the message to be sent. So now that our connection manager is done, let's create an object for this. I'll call it as manager. This will be connection manager. So over here list will be initialized, and after this we are going to use it in this WebSocket. So now this code will change from await WebSocket dot accept. I'm going to send it as manager dot connect, and we are going to send the WebSocket. So it will call the connect method from this manager, that is this one, it will accept the WebSocket and also put it inside this active connections list. After that we will have try and accept block. Try, that will go inside this, and accept, this will be handling disconnection. So WebSocket disconnect. Over here I'm going to call manager dot disconnect, and we are going to send the WebSocket inside this. Let's import this one, and it will come from FastAPI. So it will be WebSocket disconnect. So this means whenever any WebSocket is disconnected, call the manager's disconnect method that will remove the WebSocket from the list of active connections. Now after this, over here in the while true, as soon as user connects, we are going to send him a personal message first. So it will be manager dot send personal, and of course let's send this message for now, and this will be still there because we have to wait for user to send text so that his connection remains to be active. Let's save this and run our terminal and check. Somehow connection is getting close, so let me check what is the problem. As you all can see, this send personal method accepts two parameters, and this self will be the manager dot send personal. So we have to send the WebSocket also that we have missed to send. So I will call WebSocket comma this message, let it reload and refresh the page, and we should be receiving some text, but we need to await for message to be sent. Refresh the page, and yes, there we go, message text was high. So over here, instead of sending this message, as soon as the user connects, we have to send list of all the posts that are already available. Okay, because in Django, as soon as the WebSocket was opened, we used to send a request over the WebSocket to send me the list, but that feature is not really present over here. We will have to code the entire thing. So to make it shorter, as soon as the user connects, we are going to send him list of all the posts. So for that, we will have to change the endpoint, and we will be accepting over here db, and this will be taking session, and it will be depends on getDB. If you all don't know what this is, please watch the previous video. In that I have already explained it, how and why we are using it. So now in the while true, we are going to do the post. So post will be post db.query the model post dot all, and now we are going to convert this into list of posts. So posts again will be list pydantic post, and it will be taking posts as posts. So now we have all the posts available, and over here in the send personal, instead of sending this message, we are going to send post.json. So this will send the entire list of objects that are already available in the database to the user. Let's refresh the page and check in the browser. Yes, over here we have that, and if we go to console log, and if we expand this, data has that. So we will have to check the data variable. So let's go down over here, and that will be all data, correct. And inside this also we will have to parse one more time for all data, because it is JSON. So yeah, I know it is little bad, but this is how we are going to use this for this project. After that, we are going to check if this has post. So let me use the old variables. So if over here (post), this means I'm going to check if all data exists. Then check inside that if there is something called as post. If it is present, then let's do view app data.posts is equal to all these posts. So this means whenever we have all data like this will be used for the first time. It is exactly like how list was there, just that we are checking for post object, and we'll put else also over here directly. So else, let it append the data. So there won't be anything called as .data. It will be, everything will be inside this all data. Let's save it and go to the browser, refresh, Yes, post 1, post 2. And if you remember, we don't really have concept of author over here because we will have to do extra things, so that's why we are going to remove this column from the HTML file. Let's go to the VS Code and remove the third column. Refresh, and yes, this is fine. Now the final thing that remains in this project is sending of live data as soon as it is created. For that, over here in the create item endpoint, that is post insert, as the data gets created, we will call the manager and we will broadcast the newly created data to all the connections. So that's why we have made use of this connection manager to broadcast the newly created data to all the users or all the WebSockets, you can say. So we are going to expand this, and after it is created, we are going to call it manager dot broadcast what? This data dot JSON. It is broadcast. Save it and let's check it out. Let me bring the browser over here, refresh this page. Fine. Let me create one more incognito window and we will open the same thing, 127.8000, and over here also we have two posts. Let me create a new post over here. So we will go to the Thunder client and to the post insert. Let me minimize this. I will create a ID as 3 and I will call this as 3. This will be new day, new video. Sorry, let's call it as new week, new video, some content to learn new things. Okay, I will keep it in publish mode and let me send it. Before that, let me just refresh this browser once and also the other one. Is it post? Oh no, the URL is not correct. So 127.0.0.1 send, not one. It must be post then. Yes. Oh, sorry about this. One final thing that we missed in this code is we go to the main, and over here when we do manager.broadcast in the create item, we have to await for that. Okay, so I missed that, so because of that we got error over here. We will have to refresh the pages, and let's go to the Thunder client over here and minimize this. Correct. Fourth one, new week, new video 4 and something to learn. Send. As soon as we click on send, the data gets sent to the endpoint. It gets created as new object in the database, and then it is published, that is broadcasted to all the active connections. So I had 2 connection active, so it was broadcasted to both of them. And if we go and refresh this page, all the 4 data will come because of the code that we have put over here. As soon as new connection is created, we get all the post and we send it to the user as personal message, so that it is not sent to the other users also. We could do the broadcast, but then it will be sending message to all other users as well. So that's why we have sent personal over here. So finally we were able to finish the entire project into Django and as well as in FastAPI. And as we saw, some things in FastAPI were much more easier than compared to Django, and some things in Django were much more easier as compared to FastAPI. Both of them were created for 2 different purposes, and both of them have their own pros and cons. So in the end, it will be dependent on you, like whether you want to use Django or FastAPI for your upcoming project, because they have totally different use cases. But the fact is, I really enjoyed the FastAPI because it was fun. It was so simple that I really did not had to bother about project structure, using remembering of admin commands and all those things. But yes, it is in starting phase, so many things are yet in development and we don't have it available. But yes, I enjoyed it. So for any small projects, I'm going to use FastAPI henceforth, and for bigger projects, I'm going to use Django. So thank you guys for watching this entire series. I hope you have learned something new and liked the videos. If you have, please make sure to subscribe to our channel, like this video, comment, share, and see you in the next one. Peace out.